everyone, my name is Daisy, and welcome back to my channel. 2 weeks ago, I posted a video of me completing a sketchbook in 7 days, and today, I'm excited to give you a sketchbook tour of that sketchbook. Without further ado, let's get started. To start, I just began with doing the cover of the sketchbook. This was a landscape that felt very familiar to me, and was definitely right within my comfort zone, which was great to start. This next painting was one of my few acrylic ones, and I'm not super in love with it, but I did like the cool shadows, and I did really like the way the daisies turned out if you look at the details of those. This page I honestly really don't like. I like the idea of it. I really wanted to do a frame wall, but each individual sketch I just don't really love, except for I really do like the pumpkin one. But that top one in the corner with the green and flowers I really hate. This one was fun, it was simple. Again, definitely something within my comfort zone. I do like the petals, but not anything particularly impressive. I did a bunch of color swatch pages in this sketchbook, and I really liked this one. I did this as my blue color swatch page, and I actually forgot to finish it. I was going to go over it with colored pencil, but I still like how it turned out. I love the lavender field. If I could go back and do this with more detail, I definitely would. Maybe I will in the future. I did add pastel on the top, and I'm not sure that I really liked how that looked, but overall, I'm pretty happy with this one. I love these plants. These were a really quick sketch. I was really tired, but I love that one, and I love just the way that it reminds me of spring. I love the vines. Honestly, I wish most of my real life plants looked this good. Most of them are dying right now with no sunlight. The other one is my pastel. This is my first full pastel painting or pastel sketch in this notebook, and I really like it. I think it turned out really well for it being my first one. The colors on the leaves are just so vibrant, and it's something that really is impressive about pastels to me. This is my second one for pastels, and this one I did not like that much. I didn't really know how to do the grass. I do kind of like the background with the dark, moody landscape feel, but overall, this one was kind of a fail. My fruit page, I am not super impressed by this page, but it was really fun to do. I do think that my favorites are probably... Oh, I just realized I forgot to do the cherries. That's kind of funny. But I really did like the plums. I also think I really liked those raspberries. This one was going to be a color swatch page, but then it didn't turn into one. I don't really know what it is, other than I just really liked working with those colors. I did really like this little lilac section at the bottom. This is one of my favorite pages. I worked really hard on this one. I did a color swatch, so each row I did a different color in the order that they were on my palette, and then I just let the colors where the background was darker kind of guide what my sketch was going to turn into. If you watch my previous video, you'll see me talk about that as I complete this sketch. So the house was a dark blob, and then there was a cliff that was a dark blob, and the trees. So I had a lot of fun with this one, and I just love the colors, and they're simple sketches, but they're really beautiful to me. Those details are just really fun and enjoyable to do as well. This was one of my first inspired by Monet paintings. Actually, sketches. This one was done with pastels. I felt like I was starting to get the hang of pastels here. They were working a lot better with the blending. It's just a lot of layering and really thick layering, which I'm not used to. But it was fun to do lily pads. These sketches were both from my art history book and then also my Monet book, and they weren't super exciting to do, but I did like how they turned out. It was nice to switch mediums to pencil for a little while. These also were from my art history book. I had a cathedral page and I was like, you know what? I never do cathedrals. Let's try it out. And they're fine. They're not my favorite, but I do think getting into them with more detail would be fun down the road. This is where I started my woodland creature adventure, I guess. And I did a bunch of them. I really like how these turned out though. It was really fun doing the ducks especially. I wasn't planning on doing them pink, but I think it was a really neat detail with the sunset in the background. This page though of woodland creatures is my absolute favorite. I love the storybook art look, and these are just so dreamy to me. I love the lily pads with the duck, and I love the little butterfly on the fox's nose. I could just stare at that page for a long time. My snail and my toad, those were really fun to do. I have been getting into drawing mushrooms, so I thought I had to do a page of mushrooms, and then to keep going with my woodland creatures, I added the frog and the snail, and it was a fun detail. These were done with colored pencil, which is harder for me. I'm not as used to colored pencil, so I felt pretty proud of myself for how these turned out. I feel like this page looks more impressive than it was. It really actually felt like I was a little kid drawing in the lines once I sketched out the butterfly, but it was still pretty fun. This one was another one of my color swatch pages, or actually similar to the orange one, where I did certain colors in the row of green, and then I let the shapes of the dark colors guide what I ended up doing. Not as much. I didn't like it as much as my orange one, but I did still like this waterfall at the bottom, and I really liked the willow tree. This sunset was nice. I wish I wouldn't have been so dark in the purple for both the clouds and the cliffs, and I didn't like how I really outlined the clouds. Made it look more like a cartoon, but it was pretty good for watercolor though. I started this one right after because I was inspired by the watercolor sky, and I did not like that first page, and so the next day I added the bird, and I feel like that completed this painting. This one, it made me a lot more happy with this page. Here's another couple of quick sketches with my pencil. I am really familiar with doing flowers like that, and then also this was a simple castle, but the cliffs were really fun. Here's another one of my color swatch paintings, and as you can see, it's the pinks and purples. Not my favorite, but I do really like how the color swatches look on the page. Here's where I returned to acrylics for a little while. I did a little collage of landscapes, which are really easy for me to just do from my head, so that's what I did. I don't love how cartoonish the clouds look in each of these, but I did them in like half an hour total, so I think they turned out pretty well for the amount of time I spent on them. I think this is my favorite page in the entire book. This one is inspired for one of Monet's seaside landscape paintings, and I adore the little cottage on the cliff. It was such a fun, unique color scheme to work with as well. You can see the blues and the cliffs and the beautiful wildflowers of all sorts of colors, and just the water is so bright and aqua blue. It was just a really unique way of painting that I don't normally do, and so I had a lot of fun with this one. I probably spent like an hour on it, which I'm really happy with how it turned out for only doing that. But I then returned to doing more animals. I switched to pastels again, which I was proud how these turned out. I felt like I was getting the hang of pastels at this point. I really loved the little butterfly and the frog head. I did a lot of butterflies. I don't usually do butterflies, but I did a lot in this sketchbook. I loved this. This was my favorite pastel painting in this sketchbook. The little birds are just so sweet. The colors were so perfect, and I felt like I finally understood pastels for the first time. This is probably my other favorite painting page. I did a collage of different pictures of the North Shore in Minnesota by Lake Superior. So it's all different pictures I took, so memories I was there for, and I just thought this was so fun. It was such a great way to scrapbook my memories, and I love the one in the corner that I'm pointing to. Also, that one is a mountain that I've gone snowboarding down, and that was the winery. It was just such a fun way to see a bunch of memories all at once, and also experiment with a lot of different kinds of paintings. So I definitely will be doing a traveler's sketchbook in the future and doing more of this kind of collage scrapbooking pages. I really liked this watercolor sunset, and then I added the pen the next day, and I forgot that pen looks so good over watercolor, so that was a really fun experiment in this notebook. This page I don't really like. It's colored pencil. I'm not as good at colored pencil, and the raspberries are pretty, but the leaves are just a mess. I don't know why I stopped so long on this page. I do not like it. I also do not like this one. The lemons did not turn out. The circle isn't even a real good circle, so we're just going to skip over that one. This one is simple, but it was fun to do, and I did it from my head. These were also some simple sketches. I don't really love the wave, but I do really love the little peach slice. I think that the watercolors looked really good. I love these. They're very simple, but they remind me of spring, and it is so cold in Minnesota right now that I am just yearning for spring. The colors and the greenery really make me happy. Same with this page. The carrots and just the gardening. I'm just aching to garden right now, and I still have so many months to go before we can do that. This page was really random, but a lot of fun. Very similar. You can tell I was really wishing I could be outside at this point in the challenge. This one was actually originally going to be frozen ice, and then there was going to be a person walking on it, and then I messed up the person, so I was like, well, I'm going to change the person into a sailboat, and I think it turned out. I think I spent 15 minutes on this, so... And then this final one, I was just so ready to be done with the challenge at the point, so I just tried to whip something up, and you can kind of see the mountain in the background, but then I accidentally kind of covered it up. But overall, I'm satisfied with it I think I spent like 30 minutes on it. So there you have it. That is the entire sketchbook of all of the paintings and sketches I did in a week. I hope you all enjoyed this sketchbook tour. It was so fun for me to complete. As always, please like and subscribe to support me as a small artist. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.